just think Deontay has done for a long time. He's been swimming in a heavyweight division where he's always conceded 2 or 3 stone in weight, and I think that trilogy with him and Tyson Fury was when both fighters were at the peak, and it'll one that'll stand the test of time. And I think there's a lot of damage. There's a lot of wear and tear come out of them fights for both fighters.
I spoke to Lawrence on Sunday over Zoom, and he said he'd welcome a fight with Deontay Wilder at Bridgerweight. As his coach, what do you make of that?
Listen, Deontay Wilder's done now. In my opinion, he's finished, so it's not worth conversation.
I just think every fighter gets to that stage in the career where they just can't do what they could do before. And, you know, Wilder's a phenomenal puncher. I was ringside in Las Vegas when he knocked out, who was it? Southpaw Cuban. Can't think of his name. Forgot his name, but the right hand.
Luis Ortiz.
Ortiz, that's right. Yeah. He detonated a right hand on him. I've never heard a punch as hard in my life. I swear it was brutal. So, you know, a lot of that stuff is timing, and your timing tends to go a little bit as you get older, and it's just miles on the clock. And I think the 2 Fury fights, the second and third fight, really took it out of him. You know, I think a lot of the time you're never sort of the same when you have to drag yourself through fights like that at that stage of your career. So, you know, if he's got the right people around him, if he was in my gym, I'd be saying to him, listen, you've had an unbelievable career, you've earned more money than you'll ever need. Go and enjoy your life. Go and relax now, because you've done your part. You've left a mark on the sport. You've been a world champion. You've earned your money. Get out while you're healthy.
I think he should retire. Like, his mum sent him a message saying he should retire. I think he should listen to his mum. He's done enough in boxing. Should be proud of his career. But yeah, I mean, he's lost to Zhang. He's lost to Joseph Parker, Fury twice. He has nothing to prove. Let him retire and relax.
Up to him. He wants to keep boxing. Probably worth boxing at Bridgerweight against maybe a WBC Bridgerweight world champion. That'd be a great fight for him. What else could he do? Maybe have a fight against a smaller heavyweight. I don't know, but people still want to see Wilder. It's Wilder, and despite him getting stopped like that, you can see he still has power and athleticism. But I would say probably go down in weight, so a more comfortable weight at Bridgerweight. If not, maybe find a better stylistic matchup at heavyweight than these big 6'6", 6'7", 280-pound guys who've been boxing.
I watched Wilder in his last fight, and I thought his legs have gone. He's got no legs. We've always known that Deontay Wilder's not the technically most gifted, but he's got an unbelievable right hand. But when a fighter's not got the legs, he can't get that weight onto that right hand. He can't fire that right hand. And I watched him against Parker. He had no legs. And so that's why I expected Zhilei Zhang to beat him and to stop him. And to see Wilder from what he was to what he is now, it's sad. Unfortunately, we see that a lot in boxing, where we see a fighter, you know, completely, you know, their assets diminished completely and they're left as a shell. And I know he's speaking about retirement beforehand, and I hope he does. People got to remember, Wilder, he got into boxing for his daughter. And what he's created for not only her, but for the rest of his kids. He's got a few kids. What he's created for them, and the buzz that he brought to the heavyweight division for, you know, how many years has it been? You know, for a decade or so. He's been one of the most exciting fighters, most exciting heavyweights, if not the, over the last 10 years. You know, because you're always looking at him thinking he ain't that good, but then when he lands, he sparks him. You know, it's that stunning kind of knockout that you want to see in the heavyweight division. And he's been world champion. He's brought excitement. He's brought the buzz to the sport. And so I'm not a fan of this where people just slate all his previous achievements and what he's done as though he's been a nobody of the sport. He's been right up there, and he's brought us excitement levels. There are very few fighters in the world that bring pure excitement that you switch on and you know are going to give you excitement. I just think that, you know, his technical flaws caught up with him in the Fury fights. And I think the punishment that he took off of Fury in the second and the third fights, I don't think he's ever been, you know, boxing wise, he's never recovered from it, and he won't recover from it. So I would like to see that that's the end of him now.
Back home to count a couple millions and, you know, maybe trick somebody again to thinking he needs to be in the ring. He need to chill out, bro. You know, you don't want to see yourself go out like this, like, you know, you want to kind of go out in the glory sometimes, but that ain't everybody's story, man. You know? So before you get in there and you get like seriously hurt, you know, consider. You know, everybody thought AJ should retire. Now look at what happened with him. You know what I'm saying? He had a second coming of his career. I'm saying right now he looks better than he ever did. So maybe, you know, I don't know, but Wilder was 37, something like that, you know. And you're not gonna teach him necessarily how to box. I don't know if anybody can really show him that. But yeah, maybe like, you know, sometime enough is enough.
What I'll say is, respectably to Wilder, he's just not a good boxer. He never took the time to learn a lot of the basic mechanics and skills. And where he is right now, it's hard to really go back and scale him up. He's a man. The kind of man he is, it's hard to train someone in the faster just remembering small stuff. When you're his size, you have power in one punch, not one hand. You have power in one punch. Okay. And let's be clear, a guy like Wilder, for real and honestly, most of those knockouts, he's hitting you on the back of the head. He's hitting you on top of the head. He's throwing this. He's doing this. So very clearly, he's never taken the time to get better. Even with Malik Scott, you've seen the fight, even with Zhilei, he's punching like this. You're reverting back to who you are naturally as a street fighter. So either he's not, it doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter if it's Malik Scott. He's a one type of puncher. And he's relied on that his whole entire time. You have to be, he's always said it, you got to be good for 12 rounds, 3 minutes of every round. I only got to be good for 1 second. And that's all he's practiced since 2008. So if you slip that hand and you can get him past 5 or 6 rounds to where he's equally gassed, and that right hand is not snappy like it is, or you can deflect that hand with a, here we are. I mean, that's how it's always been. Again, once you can't be protected anymore, the Rocky movie against Mr. T. Once you can't be protected anymore, this is how it happens. This is how it looks. When the elites start to fight the elites, this is how it looks. Anthony Joshua versus Usyk. Anthony Joshua got better. Elites versus elites, it's a whole different story. Mike Tyson, he started fighting the elites. It wasn't Iron Mike anymore. It's just a fact.
I'm saying this is an open letter to Deontay Wilder now. Deontay Wilder, I like to consider him as a friend. He's a young man, and he deserves to live. A lot of times, I've seen boxers over the years. I've been in camps. I've been in different atmospheres. And I don't want to mention names, but I've seen boxers that were pushed past the stage that they should have retired. Why? Because there were people around them that were making money for their mistresses. They were making money for their own personal ventures. And that was their outlet. I need this guy to keep going so I can have my life. Instead of stepping in and saying, hey, enough is enough. Let's pack it up and let's go. Boxing is not the kind of sport that you want to hang around for extended amounts of time. Over time, it will take its toll. I know lots of men that I encounter all over the States, all over Europe. And when I talk to these men, I'm proud to see them with their stability, with their sense, with their rationale. A lot of times I see people who don't have that. They're fumbling over their words. They can't remember what they did 5 minutes ago because the brains rattle. Their intestines are mangled, beaten, you know. So sometimes somebody has to step in and say, hey, look, enough is enough. So I'm saying this to Deontay Wilder. You've earned a great living. You became a millionaire, if not billionaire. It's time to walk away, to enjoy your life with your family, be with your family, run your businesses with the monies that you made in boxing, but do not go back in the ring. That time.